Hello my friends, welcome back. I'm JC and this is Grace Overflowing. In today's video, I want to bring a little bit of an update and give you an amazing confirmation that the Lord has given me related to the more recent dreams I've been sharing about how these dreams link to the past prophetic election dream the Lord has given me, and how not only that dream is still playing out, but also how that dream has already played out in my life. So with that said, I want to share a little bit more about some of the challenges that I've had over the last month. As I told you, the enemy was just really attacking me, and one of the ways that he was doing so was through my skin. My skin just seemed to go from, near perfect to overnight just completely exploded with this unsightly rash, dryness, just you name it. Very sensitive. I could not use products that I have used for the last 20 years. And therefore, I ended up just kind of going down this rabbit hole unintentionally of trying to resolve these issues, trying to find products that, my skin would tolerate. So what the Lord revealed to me yesterday was that this part of my struggle was portrayed in that dream. I won't go into the details, but I will link that message if you're interested in hearing about it. But essentially at one point, I ended up in what I perceived to be a break, a water break. I ended up leaving the courtroom and going into what seemed to be a mall. And I was going in pursuit of cosmetics, essentially, lipstick. And what's interesting is the Lord revealed to me that, number one, there was a break there. And I never really perceived that originally. Obviously, when you look back at a dream, meanings can change. A water break, and the scriptures tell us that Jesus is the water of life. And so, during that time of this break, this trial, I should have been getting water, but I was going in pursuit of cosmetics. And that just really kind of wowed me. And even more than that, even right now, as I sit here, on my computer, there is a page that is minimized, and it is of a cosmetic company that I was researching, and I was in the midst of pulling an order together, and I never really finished it. But I thought, maybe I'll try one of their lipsticks. Now, since this pandemic began, I really haven't on any level looked at or considered purchasing lipstick, but the Lord brought to my mind that sure enough, at that exact moment, there was a lipstick screen pulled up. I was looking at this lipstick. And so that really wowed me that the enemy had succeeded in pulling my focus away from what it needed to be in that moment. And that was just being in the Lord's presence, being prayerful, and really keeping my eye on the main issue. But what it really told me too is that the enemy is so good, you guys. Like, he knows us intimately, and he knows exactly what to do to befuddle us, to spin us up and around and get us running like a chicken with our heads cut off. He knows how to stress us all out. And to be honest, the situation with my skin has really stressed me out over the last few weeks. It made no sense, yet I knew it was an attack, and I had a hard time managing it. And so I just feel that that was intentional, and that the enemy was working intentionally in my life this way, and the Lord had gone before and showed me this in a real way in this dream, and it just all kind of came back. Now, also, as I started to pray about coming back and starting to give messages again, I had asked the Lord what it was that he had for me, if anything, to share related to this topic. As I've told you all before, it is hard to stand in this delay, yet I am standing. However, it makes it even harder to continue to speak when time goes on and there is still this delay. And so I had just asked the Lord, what is it, that you want me to know and that you potentially want me to share? And that same night, I heard in the Spirit, Hezekiah 14. And I literally got my Bible and without even thinking about it, started flipping the pages until it dawned on me instantly that Hezekiah isn't really a book in the Bible. And I thought that was kind of strange. I'm like, Well, it didn't take me very long at all to realize what the Lord was speaking to me about and what the true message was. In 2 Kings chapter 19, verse 14 begins with Hezekiah's prayer. And I truly believed then, my friends, and I believe now, and I'm here to tell you and share this experience, that I believe that was the Trump message to me then, and is the Trump message to me now, and you now, and really where we are with all of this. If I had more time, I would potentially go through all of chapter 19 and read it to you, as there's so much there. I really believe that this chapter provides almost a blueprint of what to do when we as the body of Christ receive devastating news. But nonetheless, Hezekiah had received devastating news. And what he did is he really turned to the Lord. And there was a series of things that he did. Actually, I believe it's 6 things that he did that we can all really learn from. And I may do a short teaching on that in my next video. If you were interested in that, definitely leave a comment and let me know. But for this video, I'm going to focus on this prayer. So the Assyrians were threatening Hezekiah that they were going to come in and they were going to annihilate them. They were going to destroy them. And his specific prayer to the Lord is very interesting as it relates to the circumstances of the enemy and how he lies and how he does so in the name of God, even sometimes. But also God's response to Hezekiah. And so I want to read that section beginning at verse 14 in 2 Kings chapter 19, because I believe the Lord would have me begin there, as that was the verse that he gave me related to it. It reads, Hezekiah received the letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up to the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord and said, O Lord, the God of Israel, enthroned above the cherubim, you are the God, you alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. You have made heaven and earth. Incline your ear, O Lord, and hear. Open your eyes, O Lord, and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which he has sent to mock the living God. Truly, O Lord, the kings of Assyria have laid waste the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into fire, for they were not gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore they were destroyed. So now, O Lord our God, save us, please, from his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you, O Lord, are God alone. Now, first of all, what I want to say is that before I had even asked the Lord related to a Trump update or some sort of message related, the Lord had brought Sennacherib to me in the spirit. And I just thought that was just really strange. And after I received Hezekiah 14, I read this prayer and how it ties back to this particular king of Assyria and how the Lord had already spoken of him to me. It just really confirmed in my mind that this was God and the message, especially since God is known for going before us. And before I even asked, he was already starting to tell me. And that was just really incredible. But the fact of the matter is, friends, what I want to point out is first that Hezekiah went into the house of the Lord. He spread it all out before the Lord. And I believe that many of us have done that. Many of us continue to do that. But I know, because I have experienced it, that as time goes on, it gets harder and harder and harder to wait. And the enemy is throwing all kinds of wild rabbits out for us to chase. And if we bite, if we lose track of what we're really here and supposed to be doing, which is interceding and praying and keeping the faith as it relates to all that has been prophesied, all that we believe the Lord has spoken, even as it relates to our nation and some of these things that seem totally impossible, it's so easy, as we all know, to get off course. And I'll be the first to say that it happens to me, my friends, all the time. But this is a reminder to me that I need to be very intentional and to be aware and resist, not falling for the enemy tricks, falling into the trap, not chasing after the wild rabbits, but really just surrendering it all before the Lord. Whether it's my face issue or migraines or whatever it is, the enemy has also really been trying to destroy me as it relates to this inoculation, this mass inoculation that is happening in our world right now. And I unfortunately have really given that a lot of my time and energy and focus. And it has pulled me away because I have come at it from more of a position of worrying than actually boldly praying and interceding. And so the Lord has just been speaking to me, that the enemy is working hard, you guys. The spiritual warfare going on in our nation right now is probably the worst it's ever been. And I'm not sure that it's not going to continue to get worse. And so that's why I wanted to bring you this message. But Hezekiah prayed to the Lord. He brought it all before the Lord and he pleaded. He pleaded for salvation, but not for his own neck, not for his own skin, but for the name of the Lord. He wanted the Lord to validate and to vindicate his name. And I truly believe, friends, there is so much to be said about that, even as it relates to healing. Recently, my dear pastor was speaking on this very subject, and he made a comment about healing and miracle healings and how he's seen people get well and he's seen people not, and that he didn't really know what the difference was. And I just felt when the Lord brought this to me that the difference just was burning in my heart, and it's kingdom glory. At the end of the day, if someone who is sick dies, that is a win for them. They go to heaven to be with the Lord if they are saved. That is a wonderful thing. It's earth's loss, but it's heaven's gain, and it's that person, that saved person's gain. They gain the kingdom of heaven. They leave the earth behind and all the wickedness and all the evil that is within it. Not to say that there isn't good, but there's no comparison to reality on earth and what we have to look forward to as children of God once we leave this earth. But the difference, the times when the Lord answers, the times when the Lord swoops in and he does something incredible, amazing, is when there is some kind of major kingdom glory to come from it. When his name will be exalted, his name will be echoed throughout all of the earth. That not only in this one person's life, how he did this work, but how it will domino effect, how disbelievers who are standing by, mockers who are standing by, will be in the presence of this miracle, and they will see the hand of God. Because at the end of the day, my friends, that's what it's all about. God is working in us and through us. Once we're saved, we belong to him, but his focus becomes more on opening the eyes that are blind and saving the souls that are lost. And he just really hit me with that, and he's been hitting me with that so hard in the spirit, so powerfully in the spirit, and it's been incredible. And that last line, that as Hezekiah was pleading before the Lord, he says, "Now save us, please, from his hand, that all the kingdoms of earth may know that you, O Lord, are God alone. And my friends, I just want to encourage you that as you continue to pray, that this be your prayer. Of course, we want to be rectified. We want not to feel shame. And, we don't want in the flesh for what we've spoken in faith, obviously not to come to pass. But it's really not about us, is it? It's really not about us. And so just keeping that kingdom perspective as we continue to pray. And I want to finish. I want to read to you now, going on at verse 20, what the Lord said back, how he responded to Hezekiah. It says, Then Isaiah, the son of Amoz, sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, your prayer to me about Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard. This is the word the Lord has spoken concerning him. So he goes on into a very poetic series of verses. And I want to highlight verse 25 as it says, and he says, Have you not heard that I determined it long ago? I planned it from days of old, what I now bring to pass. And so ultimately in verse 34, he says, I will defend this city to save it for my own sake and for the sake of my servant David. And so that's basically what happened, my friends. He honored Hezekiah's request, his request to vindicate his own name, to bring justice, to let all those know who is the one true God. And essentially that's what he did. And it says in verse 35, And that night the angel of the Lord went out and struck down 185,000 in the camp of the Assyrians. And when people arose early in the morning, behold, these were all dead bodies. And so I think that that is what is happening in our country, and how I believe the Lord is still working and why he's working. And I just wanted to encourage you all with that today, not to give up, to be aware of the enemy tactics and how he's trying to pull us all away from holding the line, as I believe we're to be doing right now, both in the physical and in the spiritual, through our prayer, lifting up heaven's agenda, because I believe heaven's agenda will prevail in this nation just as it has in this time in history related to King Hezekiah. My friends, I hope this message was an encouragement to you, and I appreciate you so much for watching. Until next time, may the Lord bless you and guide you and fill you with his perfect grace overflowing.